Hi Year 6, welcome back. It's another English lesson. So, apologies by the way, I only just realised after recording the last video that the date was wrong on your big read. It said Friday the 15th. That was because I originally was going to do that as your Friday piece of big reading, but I decided it fitted better on the Thursday, but I must have forgot to change the date. Anyway, so this is the right date, Thursday the 14th of January, and we are going to move on to looking at your English. So, your work today is to use parenthesis accurately. Now, I am pretty certain that nearly all of you watching this video will be pretty comfortable with what parenthesis is and what that word means, particularly when we then look at the wolf, which is to use commas for parenthesis, use brackets for parenthesis, and to use dashes for parenthesis. However, just in case any of you aren't, let's have a look at the dictionary definition of parenthesis. So, parenthesis is a word or phrase that is inserted as an explanation or afterthought into a passage which is grammatically complete without it. In writing, this is usually marked by brackets, dashes, or commas. Now, the key bits there are this bit here, a passage which is grammatically complete without it. So it's when you're inserting, when you're putting in some extra information that is either an explanation or an afterthought, but you're doing it into an existing full clause, into an existing sentence. So the sentence, when you take out your parenthesis and the bit that comes in parenthesis, will still make sense. So that is what we're looking at today. But I'm just going to go over it in a little bit more detail. So the first thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down or discuss in class, if you are in school, what the bits that are in parenthesis are for those four sentences. So we've got the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is a carnivore, is a huge dinosaur. I'm going to try and read these without pausing for a parenthesis. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, 40 feet tall, is a huge dinosaur. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, or just T-Rex, is a huge dinosaur. The Tyrannosaurus, let me get my words back out to get my words out properly. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, one of the most feared creatures to ever live, is a huge dinosaur. So have a quick go. If you're doing this at home, just write down in your book the bit that is in the parenthesis. If you're doing it in school, you can probably do this just with a discussion. When you've done that, start the video again, and I'll see if you were correct. Okay, I think you all will be. The bits in parenthesis then, which is a carnivore, brackets, sorry, dashes, going to get there eventually, commas either side of that, 40 feet tall in brackets, or just T-Rex between the dashes, and then in brackets, one of the most feared creatures to ever live. So the sentences without those are the Tyrannosaurus Rex is a huge dinosaur. Well, it's the same every time, in fact. So that is how your parenthesis works. This one then, I want you to identify which one of these has been punctuated correctly. And again, if you're doing this at home, you can write down which one's been punctuated correctly. If you're doing this in school, you can have a discussion about it. Pause the video, write down the one that is punctuated correctly, and I'd also like a quick explanation underneath that of why it is the correctly punctuated sentence. Okay, let's have a look then. So that first one, that is incorrect. It's incorrect because it shouldn't have a comma and then the dash. Which is the capital of France? That's the bit that's been put in with parenthesis. That should either have two dashes or two commas. You don't alternate between the forms of punctuation. The second one then. That's actually correct because the sentence would be, my sister was asked to babysit for our neighbour. And you've got both of them are brackets putting in that little bit of added information. The third one, incorrect. The film dash Jaws, comma, really scared me. It's incorrect because again, they've gone between dashes and commas. So you can't alternate between them. Okay. So what I'd like you to do, and I'd like you to do one or two options here. I'd like you to have a go at adding in parenthesis to the sentence on the screen. Billie Eilish is an American singer-songwriter. I'd like you to add in some extra information with parenthesis. Okay. Lots of different options you could have had there. Here are some examples. Billie Eilish, bracket, dash. What is wrong with me today? Keep saying the wrong pieces of punctuation. Billie Eilish, comma, who has had many top 10 hit songs, comma, is an American singer-songwriter. The added information being who has had many top 10 hit songs, and the parenthesis choice being commas this time. And then underneath, Billie Eilish, dash, born on December the 18th, 2001, dash, is an American singer-songwriter. Be interesting to see which different things you've put in. So that pretty much is all you need to know for parenthesis. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have a bit of a go now at putting in some parenthesis into these sentences here. What you'll see is when I want you to stop and pause the video, you'll see that picture of the red traffic light. That means stop, have a go, write these out fully in your books. When it then goes to green, that is because the screen is about to change, and then you need to go on to the next one. Okay, have a bit of a go, adding in some parenthesis there. By the time you've done those 4 sentences, it'd be nice if I can see all 3 different pieces of punctuation that can be used for parenthesis. Okay, same again with these sentences, adding in some parenthesis to make them full sentences containing extra information with parenthesis. Okay, well done for doing those. Hopefully they're written in your books, ready to send me a picture of the work you've done. Your final task then is to generate for your news story some sentences that contain parenthesis. And I'd like them to fit into these following categories. So I'd like some sentences that contain facts about the asteroid. You can adapt some of those from your research that you did yesterday that contain parenthesis in there. Some further detail about the damage caused by the asteroid, and then some details about Elliot and his mother. I'd like, please, 3 sentences that contain parenthesis for each of those categories. That means a minimum of 9 sentences, fully punctuated, that all contain parenthesis. When you've done that, these are going to give you a really good bank of sentences to then use when it comes to writing your eventual hot write next week. Okay. That's everything from me today. I'll be back with you tomorrow for Friday's final big read and final English of the week. For now, though, that's everything. I'll see you, or speak to you at the very least, later on today with some work for this afternoon. But for now, goodbye.